I'm glad you said all you said, because now public speculation is what's going to fuel the success of the web series at first. Because the talent has to override.
Right.
But trend setting is the point and purpose of all those who have talent.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite shows back in the day was New York Undercover.
Mine too.
That's my man. You know what I'm saying? And New York Undercover trend set it Law and Order.
Mm-hmm.
They bit from New York Undercover to make Law and Order.
Yep, I agree.
Same way they bit Star Trek to make Star Wars. The same way they bit the Bionic Man and Bionic Woman to make the Bionic 6. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These things, I'm showing my age, y'all. These things come about from, like I said, marksmanship, hitting the mark of a creative genius. How is Loyalty and Betrayal going to inspire the next line of creators by the work it's doing?
You know, the thing about Loyalty and Betrayal is the story is so different. I mean, yeah, it's hood, it's, you know, it's in a hood environment, whatever, but the story is different. It's not your average, oh, you know, it's a beef over a drug turf. It's not. It's just a whole different story. And I hope it challenges people to go out the box and believe that, yo, you can make something dope and it ain't gotta be just this side of town beefing with this side of town.
Yeah, yo, light bulb. That's every hood story though.
Right.
You got in Plainfield, East End, West End. In North, yeah, Lil Bricks versus whoever.
Yeah.
Orange, you got this side versus this side. And Nipsey Hussle broke it down perfectly. You will ride past anybody who doesn't look like you, but you're going across town to kill somebody who has the same mannerisms as yourself.
Right.
So that story has to change and that narrative has to not be present. Now, I have conversations with some of my best friends, and we missed the days when people of color were on television and taught lessons. There is no Cosby Show now. There is no Martin now. There is no Different World now. And being that technology has put the camera, ta-da, in our own hands, we get to make our own productions and give us our own companies. And we're feeding our own visions and our own families with our own money.
Right.
With technology being the gateway to us being creators, not creations, what responsibility do you have to teach others through your art so that when they give up their paintbrush and pick up their canvas, they're leaving a respectable creative line instead of just making bullshit like we see in the music industry?
Right. And that goes back to me saying you have to think out the box. You have to trust your craft, you know. And one thing that I try not to do, and I support everybody. I watch all the web series, but when I watch it, I go, you know what, this is dope, but I want to make mine different and be dope. And that's the thing. I don't look at a web series and go, oh yeah, that was dope, so let me steal that. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Varnell Hill.
I look at it and I go, yo, that's dope. Now, how could I do something different that's gonna be dope as well? Because I don't want to be like anybody else.
True.
I don't want you to turn on this show and then put my show on and go, oh yeah, this is the same thing. This is the same thing. So I would tell people, yo, think out the box. Come different.
Okay.
Like you said, trendsetters.
Yes.
Set it. Set your own trends.
Okay. So then let me go to a hard question. Because the main character is a young lady in Loyalty and Betrayal.
I wouldn't say
that's how it was given. That was how it was given in another interview.
I wouldn't say. See, that's the thing. I can't pinpoint a main character. I can say the story is based around her and her brother.
So she's the pinpoint. Let's just say she's the pinpoint. She's the pinpoint beginning of the story. I asked a young lady this, and it sparked a nerve, and I asked you this as a writer. A man cannot define a woman. A man can appreciate, uplift, and project the woman's nature, but not her. How did you find the voices for each character to make them believable, whole, and prevalent to the story? Because a lot of web series, the flaws I see in them, they don't touch on real life. They touch on aspects of life. So how do you, since you don't want to be like the other ones, how do you break that norm to make sure you find the voice of the character and harbor on their essence, not just the story?
Well, that goes back to research.
Okay.
You have to, me personally, I sit down and I speak to women. I sit down and what are your dislikes? What would happen in this situation? How would you handle this? What if a guy did this? What if you popped up pregnant? And it all goes with research. Because like you said, we're men. We're not women. But they're very emotional creatures. So you have to, and another thing is, with the character, you got to kind of let her be herself as well.
You let them able to take their character and put some range on it.
Yeah.
Stop right there. So, like I said, you touched perfectly on asking, doing research, studying. And essence is something you can't study, you have to feel. So you let them have free range with the character to flesh it out.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you this. One of the greatest free range moments in television history was when Will Smith cried on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air about his dad not being there. Have you had any of those moments yet on camera? And if you have, how did you know when to stop when so much emotion comes from such a powerful scene?
We actually have a couple of powerful scenes, and you want to get it authentic as you could get it. So when somebody is in that emotional state, you kind of want to let them get it all out until, you know, they really, hey, I'm good now. You know, you can't cut it in the middle of, it wouldn't be authentic.
Yeah.
So you just let them play it out. You let them go ahead and finish what they was doing, and then we'll go back to it and see which part we got to cut out or whatever. But that's what you want. You want the real emotions. You want that to come out.
But truth behind the camera is not truth within the lens. Editing plays a very important part. And that's what people don't understand when it comes to shooting videos. Even interviews. You do editing. You have to cut. You have to make sure the sound is good.
Yep.
So how important is it to find the look, not of the scene, of the series before you shoot it, so you're actually capturing the vision of the director and the story itself?
It's everything.
Talk about it.
It's the look. The look is everything. It all goes hand in hand. Where you shoot a scene at for a specific scene is very important. We got a scene and it's an emotional scene, and then somebody crying. I could talk about it because we showed it a little bit. It's Norky crying, but hey, we don't want to just put that scene right there with him sitting on the car, he crying.
Right.
Now we got him on a rooftop by himself, you know, isolated. That's a moment for him.
I'd give him stop.
Yeah, that's like super important. Real talk.
You know what? You know what's deep though? Let's hit it from another angle. The Professional, ever saw that movie?
Yes.
Do you remember the part when the little girl was about to die because the guy was coming after her, and she knocks on the door, and then when the guy opens the door, the light comes on her face? That's the light of hope.
Right.
So like I said, the look of something tells the story far beyond the actual words that are put on camera.
Yep.
The backgrounds and the foregrounds should not clash in the picture. How do the scenes tell the story and loyalty and betrayal before the actors even utter a word?
I mean, atmosphere is everything. Particular specific spots are everything. And what I mean by that is, if it's a cloudy day or it's a storm or whatever the case is, and you got one of the females, even the dudes, having an emotional moment, I think that's great. Sitting on a windowsill, pouring rain, you know, having a deep moment. That sets the tone. That sets the tone for what's coming next. And you can tell, like you said, you can tell that by the background. I mean, it's obvious. If you see a club, the next scene is we see the front of a club. We already know what the mood is gonna be.
Yeah.
So that's very important on where you shoot the scenes at, what type of background. It all goes hand in hand.
See, one thing that people don't get when you're shooting, because are you the cameraman as well?
No.
So you have cameramen to do this. Okay, see, that's very important. Because sometimes when you shoot the scene yourself, you still don't get the thing that you're looking for.
Right.
But when you have somebody else have free range to bring your idea to light, you kind of get more than what you bargained for.
Absolutely.
So can you tell me about something that you created that when somebody else brought it to you, you were amazed at how sharp it came out?
A couple of things, man. Shout out to my cameraman. Basically, I tell them, look, this is what I got for a scene. This is the idea that I came up with. And they could take the vision and say, okay, we could do that, but if we add this, it's gonna bring it out more. And I give everybody that free range. I'm not the guy that goes, oh no, this is exactly how I want it. No, please show me how this could be better. You know? And with them, they do that. I have the trust in them because they are the guys that's behind the camera. They know the angles to shoot. They got to do the editing, so they know what's gonna look how it's gonna look this way with this and that. So I give them that free range. That happens often, actually. You know, it happens often. I might say, yo, I want to do this way. Nah, I think it'll look better if we do it this way. Let's do it.
There's no crime in trying an idea. And some people unfortunately have that competition spirit and they don't want to try anything, and it has to be rigid.
Right.
So you're telling me that part of Loyalty and Betrayal's success is going to be the fact that you bring different visions into the story so the story can be fleshed out on a grander scale.
Absolutely. Like, and at our editing session, it's a bunch of eyes there because I really believe that my two eyes can't see everything, or his two eyes can't see everything. So when you got a bunch of eyes, it's like when we did the trailer, we had about 5 people sitting there looking at this and going, yeah, well, let's add this. You know what? That's a good idea. Let's add that. Something that I would have never saw. And I think that's very important because you expand it. You know, like it's like you said, tunnel vision. If I'm just sitting there doing it, it's going to be based off what I see, how I feel. But when you got a whole different set of eyes, now you're bringing everybody's thoughts to the table.
So my partner says everything looks different. The same thing can look different from a new set of eyes.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like you have to envision something, but involve others to bring the greatness of it out.
It's mandatory. It's mandatory. And I always say that, no matter what the scene is. Hey, listen, this is how I visioned it. Now, how would you vision it? And then we put our thoughts together.